Hopefully everyone has had a good afternoon, evening, night, day, wherever you're at, whatever it is. I'll go ahead and jump right onto the chart. And as we can see here, we're already getting what looks to be a gap higher in the market leading into today's session, right? A fairly large gap up about, I mean, this 25, 37 handles here. So a pretty decent sized gap. It's interesting to note, and if we pull over the daily chart here, we can see kind of where this gap has been sitting in here before. Um, this is the 9, this is the 20. I added them on there because James was showing me something yesterday. Just in case you're wondering. But so basically we have, we had this gap down here and then we had a gap up relatively in the same spot. And so if we draw this out here and then switch it back to being a 24-hour chart, we can see we're gapping up right above that kind of same level that we gapped down. We gapped up originally and then gapped down below it. So now we're gapping up above it. And we have all these equal lows down here. That next target up really just looks like that 37 or 3800, excuse me, 37 85 is where I marked, and 3785 to 3800 you have all these relative highs, and that could be the target if we see some strength in the market going into today towards the rest of the session. So that'll be definitely something that we want to be at least aware of or kind of paying attention to. We'll definitely still monitor this gap here. We're seeing a little bit of pullback here. Not too much, little poor high. We keep extending the range up just a little bit after a pullback for the most part overnight. The whole session has basically just kind of squeezed up. We gapped up on the open, so opened up a little bit higher in Globex, little pullback, breakout here, same idea, pullback, breakout, and now we're just kind of balancing at the top. Morning, Zoe. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Roach. And so we're going to be opening up on what we were wanting in the RTH yesterday. Yep, exactly. And so we're kind of seeing that play out, and no surprise really. We kind of expected this, especially with the poor high getting put in, and then as soon as the overnight session started, we saw excuse me, as soon as the overnight session started, or as soon as the market closed, they basically started squeezing it up right to the high as the market started to close. So no real surprise here. We have earnings coming into today. Netflix, I think, is after hours. Let me look real quick. Where's the thing at? Yeah, so today's earnings, we've got Goldman Sachs before the market opens, Johnson and Johnson, and then after the market closes today, we've got Netflix, United, Interactive Brokers is today as well. Then tomorrow, the big one, Tesla. So that'll be interesting. Today we'll see, kind of if Netflix is gonna set the tone here, what they're gonna Netflix earnings, except for the most recent one, but the two before that were kind of insane. We can go ahead and take a peek at that real quick. I have a little bit of a cough today, guys, so try to bear with me. I'm trying to scooch away from the mic as much as I can. I mean, we can kind of see here, you have this kind of big gap down uh, off of that previous Netflix earnings. And then, last Netflix earnings wasn't too crazy. Then we have Netflix earnings today. And then the previous Netflix earnings, right? Another large gap down that still hasn't filled yet. So, pretty interesting. Morning, Tommy. Pretty interesting look there as far as what the past earnings have been like. So the dollar back under the 112 level, so we're kind of sitting right there at that 112 right now, 111.96. So it's an interesting look, and that's good for the market. Probably a good reason why the market's squeezing up overnight here. We're getting that look. Uh, the market likes to see the dollar come down, especially with the dollar being so elevated for the most part. We're seeing the Australian dollar like it. It's been going up, the euro going up, trying to climb above that magical $1 mark and get back in line. Bitcoin, for the most part, yesterday really hasn't done much. We had kind of been watching some trends, and it kind of broke on both sides. So really, just kind of balancing for the most part, right? Same thing as the overall market, but hasn't taken that upside like the market has. So that'll be something to watch, right? Especially if Bitcoin starts to take the downside, that'll be a risk off look. Oil coming back down here. Uh, this is good news for everyone that's going to be needing energy, especially with winter getting ready to start on. Jake B, good morning. Good morning, other person watching. Thumbs up. Yeah, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button.
So wasn't Netflix earnings up the last two times?
Yeah, but their forward guidance was the bad part. So they beat on earnings, and then their forward guidance was not great.
What is foreign guidance?
Basically saying like the where they expect um like forward projection, basically, which is basically how all of this stuff is priced off of what their future earnings is going to be. That's kind of how everything is priced, not what they've done, what they're gonna do, basically, is kind of how it's all based. And that's kind of how everything really is kind of laid into the market.
So it didn't be projections.
The
It,
goal of guidance is to make sure that the market doesn't react negatively.
right.
So they kind of like try to preempt if things aren't going well, they try to preempt the major downturn by saying, hey, we have to adjust guidance, but not necessarily giving a definitive answer because of course they don't know the exact number, but they just want to make sure that nobody freaks out and the stock just plummet.
Yeah, and there was a lot of sandbagging last year in the first quarter, in the October earnings, because I mean, obviously, it seems like they knew that the market was going to be turning down. I mean, a lot of these big executives and everything sold all of their stocks in September. Surprise, surprise. But they Netflix is just, their forward guidance has basically just been like, hey, we're getting beat because some of these companies are securing shows that everybody wants. I know a big show that I was actually looking forward to watching last night, Schitt's Creek, is no longer on Netflix anymore. It's over there on Hulu. So they're losing a little bit of their competitive edge. The Netflix is trying to make a comeback now with all of their little murder mysteries and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, they try to lowball it without spooking the market. It's just last time when they tried to give that guidance that was, you know, bad forward guidance, basically saying that they were losing a lot of users. Um, they spooked the market a little bit too much and caused those big gaps down. Netflix did just release that like ad service, so it's like a cheaper version of Netflix with ads, kind of like Hulu has, and so that's going to be probably what they're on the ball talking about today, and could probably cause some upside. And if you get a big rally in Netflix, we could keep seeing the market squeeze up. So Apple looks like it's gonna be opening up on a gap higher here as well. AMD also getting back up to that 60 level, right? Still looking pretty strong from yesterday. Our target from yesterday was 59.59. Um, but it hasn't gotten up there yet. Amazon, right, gapping up on a gap higher. A lot of these alerts we had set yesterday as we were looking for the market to kind of break those levels to get a breakout. Well, unfortunately, it didn't happen until after the market closed yesterday. Google looking pretty strong. This is something that we talked about yesterday, getting over that this swing high here, this 100 level. It broke 100 early on, which is kind of what gave us a little bit of confidence yesterday in the long side of the market. If Google does keep squeezing up or keep moving up, it's kind of been the lagger, and that could really bring some strength into the market. Meta even looking pretty strong on a pretty steep trend up here for the most part, gapping a little bit higher. Zero Gamma's up there at 140 still, so it's still got a little bit of a ways to go, about $3 more. The market's coming down here pretty decently. It's about 16 points off the high. Microsoft looking strong as well. Netflix, right? So trying to turn around here. Netflix is not going to be opening up on a gap like a lot of these other ones. Still trying to, people are being a little safe here, I think, with Netflix, just in case, because, they've been burned by the earnings before. Nvidia is looking strong. If we see strength in the market, right, these chip makers have been beat down pretty hard, and could be a look, morning trend, could be a look where a lot of people try to toss some money in and make a nice quick buck. TNX, right, climbed above 40 yesterday towards the end of the day, since gapped down, opening a little bit lower. So starting to make lower highs here, but very close to the 40 level. And it's not the best look here for the market, right? We'd like to see that a little bit lower here. Tesla still trying to get a little bit of a squeeze up here before, the inevitable 28th, when Elon decides if he's gonna buy Twitter or not. Jake said he switched to Amazon because Netflix kept buying and dubbing movies. Cheap out move with subscript money. Yeah, I had noticed that as well, actually. And then the VIX, right? VIX actually cracked below the 31 level for the first time in a while, or below, almost down back to that 30. So a little bit of volatility laying off, pretty steep decline in volatility, people selling volatility. We do have a big options expiration, I believe, next week. It might be this week, actually. It's the third week of the month. So might be this week, this Friday. There's going to be a lot of options expire. So a lot of people trying to position themselves in the right spots, and you can see 390 being that top call wall, and 340 being that low put wall, and you could see just the range of this and the volatility that's kind of priced into the market, right? There's just kind of crazy volatility here, and you really just have to be careful and patient, really, for the most part, just letting the market come to you, waiting for your trades here, because the volatility could really punish you. This is in an environment where you could be wrong and right at the same time. So, or right, yeah, wrong and right at the same time, right? You get into a trade, you get stopped out, and then it goes your way. That's never a fun thing to have to deal with.
Yeah, they're showing how Nasdaq's actually more volatile than Bitcoin for the first time.
Really? Yeah, that's crazy. That's surprising, really. A lot of I mean, there's been a lot of volatility here. And the Nasdaq's kind of the big driver, especially with the big, the earnings from these mega caps is, typically kind of the driver of all of this. We had better than expected results from Goldman Sachs and LMT and a couple of others. Remember, gap rules are in play today. We've got overnight inventory 100% net long. We don't really have a very prominent point of control. We do have these single prints below that will be kind of where I'll be keeping my eye. If we do get any pullback into that area, I'll be looking, for an opportunity to get on board if we see some weakness down there. I'm gonna go ahead and erase this previous gap. We're gonna have a gap on a gap. Gaps on gaps on gaps. You can see that the previous NFP impulse, right? So we had that non-farm payrolls report, where we had that big gap down day, which was this day here. Put the overnight sessions in. From here, and then the market, pushed all the way down to the low, and then rallied up. So a pretty decent achievement to get back up there, and will be a level worth watching to see if it's able to hold. How is the histo between 3770 high formed? What is it showing us? What do you mean the histo between 3760 and the high? Morning, Thomas. I mean, just like the volume profile. So this is just volume, right? Just overall volume. Doesn't matter what side it trades on. But really, it's hard to judge what the volume is telling us from the overnight session. Really, you can just see some ledges kind of forming, and volume just trying to come in. Really, for the most part, light volume. This is just the last 30 minutes. So the last 30 minutes of time. It's not based on the previous 30-minute bar. It's just the last 30 minutes of time. So basically, it's just showing us within the last 30 minutes, most of our volume is coming in right here at the 67, and then we got some tapering off here on the low, so no real selling moving down here below this level, and then little competition here. So if you were to pretend this is a tug of war with people on this side and people on this side, the knot's kind of right in the middle still. And then we have this, previous point of control that's from that 10-6, October 6 point of control there. And then these previous highs up, got 38, 11, 19, and then right here around the 6. Not really a ton of, well, basically what it looks like here is that the move kind of already happened, right? So when we're looking at this and kind of getting into what we're expecting off the open, we're probably going to get a very positive breath. So we'll write that number down and look to see if it holds throughout the day, right? We'll probably get a tick that opens up, above 1,000. And we'll look to see, if the tick gets below 0, there might be an opportunity for a fade, right? If that tick fails to get back below 0, that's going to let us know that there's really no supply in the market, and kind of the fade is more of just a pipe dream or a momentum short than anything like that. And recommended I would stay out of that. We'll look to see how our sectors start to go overnight, or off the open, right? They trade from the open, or they calculate from the open. So we could be sitting here with a positive breath of plus 15 or something like that, and plus 5 on the Nasdaq, but all of a sudden all of our sectors go red. That's a key indication that maybe we're going to get some downside, and you've got to be careful. So there's going to be some possible contradicting information going into this morning's open, and so you definitely want to be careful. Remember, if you're a newer trader, a gap this big is really typically a tough play, and sometimes it's worth it just to sit out if you're not used to playing the volatility or being patient and letting those trades come to you. All right. Now we're ready. We're motivated. And time to take control of the day. You've got about 5 minutes left. Now is time to lock in your plans. Now it's time to do some meditation. Do what you need to do in order to prepare to trade successfully and manage that risk. There's a pretty steep trend line here as well. Great. How's the session? Taking a peek at ETH real quick. Loading up. We could see ETH just knocking on that door still. All right, was able to bounce off that weekly VWAP once again, and still just knocking on this door here, trying to get above this 1338 and hold. Every time it gets up, it looks like it just gets sold off. And that's that top of this bracket, right? We had a little bit of excess come up. Market tried to hold and was unable, and then traded all the way through down to balance. Not really looking at this just because it's news. Double R, good morning. But we'll be looking to see if the market has some strength early on. We'll be looking for this thing to try to take out this previous highs. There's a lot of stops just kind of lined up here, and would make sense if it does get up here, we should be able to climb up to that 1361.
That'd be cool.
And then Bitcoin. All right, in a similar situation, Bitcoin really kind of already above its previous balance, right? We had this kind of previous balance here, and in still sitting kind of in this uptrend from this previous swing low. Oop, market just bounced here a little bit. And so really we'd like to see Bitcoin stay above that 19,442, right? That's where it kind of gained that support yesterday. And then that 20,000, as we know, have been acting as a magnet. And so any strength from the market today, we see strength in crypto. That's probably the target up there, is that 20K. Save it.
It's crazy how long it's been in this 19K range.
Since when?
It's a long time.
No, but would you say crazy how long it's been since what?
That it's been the 19K range.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it has. It's been a long time. And honestly, the longer that it stays at this range and fails to break lower, the better the odds become that it breaks higher, if according to history. I think I should have ate something this morning. I'm kind of hungry. At about 10 seconds here until the market opens. There we go. A high is mechanical, right off the Globex high. Let's see if we get below the open or not. Tick. Look at the breadth. Breadth is looking strong. Opened up at about 19. See the tick opens up way up 1400. Pretty high number there. Market back below its open. You can see the sectors here. A lot of mix right here. Little flip-flops, things kind of going back and forth here as the market tries to sort itself out. Big offers coming in here at the 73. Sellers trying to hold this 73 level. Back up to the open. Remember that A high is mechanical here. Pretty big mix here of sectors. So they hold the 73. Big battle going on at this 73 level here, right at the open. There's the liquidation. Very tight range still early on. Bot got into a call. Counts are 83 and 0.
Hey, what are the two percentages on the sector? Little short there.
The on this bottom one right here.
Yeah, the two percentages.
So the first percentage is the weight of the market of the actual like sector. So technology sector is 27% of the S&P, 27.9%, and then the this percentage is the percentage that it's up from open or down from open. So we repair that overnight session. All those texts are from the alerts. And then we're back below the open there. So I took a little long right there, from 74.50, 74.75, closed them 76 quarter, 76 quarter. Just looking to repair that poor high. That's all that was. Just a quick scalp to repair the poor high. There's opportunity on kind of both sides here, but I just figured with the volatility that poor high wasn't going to hold. We're hitting a previous point of control, and we're opening up inside this previous day's value. If we kind of I fucking hate that it does that, and I do not know how to fix that. If anyone knows how to make it so that CR charts doesn't do that, please let me know. So we're opening up inside this previous year's value, right? And so what we'd like to see is, continuation from the market above this point of control. A strong reaction off this point of control can really take us back down to that lower value area, and that's going to be that 63 level. And then, below that, there's going to be some stops that start to come out below the 67. So it could really start to get things going on the downside if we keep auctioning lower here. You're starting to see the weighted sectors. So we've got, well, there goes tech trying to get green again, but we've got healthcare's down, financials down, consumer discretionary, communications, and tech. So we've got 5 out of the top 7 heading lower. Breadth is still holding for the most part. 37 and 0 for the call puts. Still about 6 minutes till my algo will decide if it trades or not. Coming lower here. So watch that 63. The strong reaction off that point of control. 63 would be the target. That's below value. And you'll look to see if the market rotates below value and gets some rotations, gets accepted below there, it'll probably target that overnight, probably that overnight value area high, 53 maybe. It's got to get below 63 to confirm that. So far, a pretty tight range, and short covering comes in right there.
Man, I went for a poor high scalp right there. Brad had to go get my stop before it dropped.
My bad.
Thanks, Brad.
You were
Thanks,
short
Brad.
up there?
Yeah, it was,
My bad.
tight risk. I was looking for a quick correction overnight. Just, safe, more of a safer play, but I figured I'd try it,
Yeah, not bad. I mean,
came right up to it.
breadth is picking up here, about 20 now. Nasdaq breadth is 7. So the market's not really showing big weakness here. You got a little bit of an auction down right there, but we're not really seeing big weakness. Just that point of control is really kind of the only thing making you a little bit cautious. But the tick is still, still elevated. Weighted AD is up big time, which is, it's going to be up because of the way the market opened. So the only thing that's concerning me right now is just these top 5 sectors are red. That's not really a great look. It's not really a risk on look, and the risk on would mean that the market wants to go up, but we're not really seeing that yet. Volume coming around that 69, 39 and 2. Reggie, thanks for liking the video. So sellers coming in right here at this 69 quarter. No real battle lower right there, and sellers kind of looking like they got stuck on that 65 once again. That same spot that they came down to before, and you're starting to see a little tapering here off the low, so just be careful. We might not get any continuation here. Sellers need to get down below that 65. They're kind of stuck down there. Those poor guys. You can see the market just balancing here. I mean, really, for the most part, not really. We're 77 3/4 on the high, the low 65. So you're sitting about 10-point range, roughly. Let's see if these sellers try to get busy again here. A lot of selling coming in here around this 67, and they failed to kind of get it lower there. I think they're still struggling here to get it lower. The taper, so the taper basically kind of shows us that supply is running out, right? And it's early. We're not even 10 minutes in, or we're about to be 10 minutes into the market. So it's still early. But let's say the market moved down and we got like a big chunk of volume down here. Right, that would show us that some sellers are moving down and trying to sell this market lower, right? Not necessarily saying that it's going to continue, and it could be short covering, but just the fact that volume is moving lower increases the odds to the downside, right? As the market starts to taper, and you can see it's tapering on the high as well, as the market starts to taper, that basically shows a lack of people willing to move down and sell, right? So if we imagine, our computer monitor scenario, and most people are selling their computer monitors from 75 to 67, and as people start offering to the 65s to buy, they're kind of like, nah, and then the price retreats back up, right? And then they know they can sell them for 70, so they're not really willing to sell them for 65. Now, if the market moves down lower, then all of a sudden 65 becomes a good spot to sell the computer, right? There you go, liquidation. So there's that 62 level. And see how there's this chunk of volume now? So now we don't have a taper. Now we have we have this chunk of volume. So there's some interest down here. Right? And now look at this. We're starting to see the sectors roll over. We're starting to see the breath cool off here a little bit, even though the NASDAQ breath is still looking okay. But we're starting to see some interest in lower prices. I made my first short yesterday, guys. I don't know if you guys saw it. The audio seemed kind of shitty on it too. So. It was from the trading session. So if you're in the trading session, you saw it live. So there's a break of this trend, and this trend is, this trend has been holding from that Globex low here, since about, what time is this? It's about 5:30 my time in the morning, and very steep uptrend, and we're getting kind of that first break of that level. So just one little tidbit of information to pay attention to there. AMD made a new low. And my algo will not trade today unless there's some serious downside, or a flip-flop and we break the high. That's the only way it will trade based off of the indications that it's getting. Yeah, I mean, after you said I would think they would go back after offer on 80 even. Oh, that 376 up there you're talking about, Roach? Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're trying to hold this down, right? These shorts are trying to hold this down, but they're stuck here again at the 63. It's kind of like what we saw yesterday. There really is just no supply, or just not enough supply, right? You get these buyers kind of getting in, they get in a tough spot, and then they get liquidated, and then as soon as they get liquidated, the people that are trapped short are just buying everything back that they can, and then the market starts to pop up again. It's a really tough situation for these for these traders, really. And then we're starting to see utilities turn red. I mean, a lot of stuff is turning red. It's hard to, and you're seeing the tick even get close down to the zero. The fade is kind of setting up here. And right, the gap is all the way down until that 3702 from yesterday. So there's a fairly large gap down below. And then remember, we had that big CME gap. So there's a lot of trapped shorts here in the market, and that's what makes it so hard to fade this market. But if a big seller were to come in, that would get the opportunity. It's just so difficult with how much trap short inventory there actually is here. Yes, it's accepted, slowing the price action to the downside. The CVD is dropping at negative 2600. So some more shorts come out. We saw that interest. So the market below this 37.66 really, that's kind of where it's showing a little bit of short covering coming in here. That's kind of showing the weakness. So we know our weak spot. So we don't want to be really convincing ourselves of many longs until we get above that 37.66. You can see the breath cooling off here big time. Oh, excuse me. So break of that trend there. We'll just go ahead and remove that. Watch this upper trend now. Coming back down to the VWAP here, 37.53 is the VWAP. Like a little bit of stuck inventory here. These sellers are trying this 56 level, but not really having a ton of success yet. Now we've got 6 out of the top 7. Red. Energies, green barely. Materials, green barely. Real estate, green barely. Staples, the risk off of our top 7 is the only thing that's green. Tech coming down pretty big here. The AMD's no trade for my algo. And came all the way up to 60.49 in that first 10-minute candle. Morning, Jason.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Dan.
Morning, Brad.
Would you'd like to see a test of that 49 area? Yeah, a lot of confluence right there. And that's right where the 24-hour view up's at 50. I mean, we're not really making that much progress to the downside here, right? There's not really a ton going on. The tick, barely cracked that 0 line. So there's an opportunity for a fade here. But if the market gets above 66 here, you're going to start to see some shorts cover, some laggard shorts cover here that are trying to force the market down. So just be careful of that. Breath has cooled off quite a bit here, but the NASDAQ breath is going up. So the NASDAQ still, even though the NASDAQ is coming down here on this chart, the breath is picking up in the NASDAQ. So we look at some of the sectors. Apple, right? Apple not down as much as the market is. Amazon looking kind of weak, not gonna lie. Google, big drop right from the open. Meta, big drop right from the open. Microsoft, big drop right from the open. Netflix still looking a bit stronger than the others. Nvidia's looking pretty weak. Tesla's looking pretty weak as well. So really just Apple kind of holding the market a hostage right now and basically just propping the market up. Oh, damn it. Why if I put an alert, is it just going to default to at and above if it's below current price? Like, get your shit together. Thinkorswim. Call counts are climbing. Looks like we're trying to break this downtrend from the open here, or from the high of today. You're getting up close here. A lot of sellers started to come in around this 64. And that's why I think 66 is that weak spot on the profile. You'll start to see a lot of shorts cover above this level. This is kind of like their last stand here. Sellers are stuck on 63 here. And really 62 they're stuck on. Big offer moves down right to 65. That's the stop loss, guaranteed. As soon as it pops it, this thing's probably just gonna give a little pop-a-rooski. They need to hold this thing down. They're trying their hardest right here. Sellers are offering. There they go. They get that 62 back. See if they move down. Down. There they go. So unable to pop that 66. You've got this big offer sitting on 65, trying to hold the market down. The price action's not really super clean here. I mean, there's a couple of boxes here. $14 contracts on that low. Sellers look stuck on the 56.50 here. Breath has picked up a little bit. It was down at 12, but you're starting to see the weighted AD come down, and we're starting to see almost Staples is about to go red. And that tick is just getting right here below 0. So their opportunity is here. They flip-flop right at the VWAP. Where's my 24-hour VWAP on one chart different than this other one? 81.12. Watch this 50, 37.50. The previous poor low area. 53.75 should be it. It for what? What do you mean, the downside? Oh, the VWAP. Yeah, I have mine at 51.40. Not sure why. Big move down here. Look at the breath is really cooling. There it goes. Liquidation starting to happen. People are getting scared. Overnight inventory is correcting here a bit. Get that tick below 0. And look at all of our sectors except for energy. Oh, energy and Staples, they're about to go red. Every sector is red here. Yeah, the fade, I mean, the fade was really just based off of that 66 not able to break, right? The 66 wasn't able to break. We moved down, short 60, and then, you know, just keep riding. Trying to see if we can get back into these single prints and look for the single prints to fail here. If
The breath's also halved.
yeah, and that's a good point. The breath has been basically cut in half. We just seen Apple break that mark that we just put on there as well. It's down below that 145.66 there. Remember, these rotations can be bigger rotations because you have so much trapped short inventory that, you know, whenever we do get these moves down, everyone just starts flooding in to try to, you know, get out at the best possible price. Like they want to retest this VWAP. Seeing a bid step up on the 54 here. Sellers came in right there at the 59. Let's see if they hold that level again. Breath is picking up here a little bit, so you're getting a little bit of buying back here. Seeing the sectors look, staples flipped green, you're seeing some green come in all of a sudden. A little bit of cooling off, and that could be, like I said, you know, everyone just kind of buying back. Anytime we get that liquidation, you get that buyback of a lot of their positions. Heavy volume coming in right here, right at this 55. It looks like sellers really trying this. Two big bids at 53 fit in the 50. Bigger bids looking for the other side of value in the Globex session. Yeah, if we get those rotations down inside here, there's a good odds, especially with the breath right now. I mean, the only thing that's kind of weird is that NASDAQ breath is kind of throwing me off. The NASDAQ doesn't look great. It's coming down. But, you know, I think that we probably test into these singles at this point. Not seeing a ton of volume, and you're kind of seeing where the sellers got trapped down here, right? We can see how the weak spot on the profile, so they need to force this thing back down into this kind of lower distribution. There they go. If they can't force this thing below 50 and kind of hold it below 50, you might get another rotation back to the upside.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
I know you said you changed your charts up. I don't know if your session times got changed or not, but my overnight point of control is right here, and it's like 12 wide. And I noticed yours is only like 4 or 5. And I don't have any of that big single print area. I sent you a picture of it just so you could compare, but I don't know if the session times got changed or what. But I know ours used to match, and then you said you redo your chart, so I just gonna let you know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Let me see. You sent it on Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me look. You know what? I might be missing data. Because our high and low are the same, looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, the volume point of control and the time point of control are right around the 48 half to 49 half area for me.
Interesting. Yeah, because my time's still 9:30 to 15:59:59, and then 1600. Let's change this. Can't hold. Were you short, Jason? T period popping up here a little bit. Let me see if I can. Maybe it's my data. Oh, that was not a good idea, I guess.
I mean, the fact that it didn't reload your profile means the historical data is probably not loading, only the live data.
Yeah. It's weird. Well, here we are. I'm screwed here. Well, we'll just have to use this chart for now. So this 59 level was a big level that we saw earlier. Damn, that's annoying as fuck. Starting to see the breath pick up. And look at the tick. Tick's getting pretty bullish here, trying to hold up above that 0 level. You're seeing a break of trend here as well. And I know our TPO is not really offering us any information right now because the data's all fucked up. See something here. See if we can open it back up if we get anything good. Yeah, Jason, it's hard to hold a short because we have all this trapped short inventory, right? So you've got all these shorts that are trapped below us, so any big significant downside just gets bought up. That's approaching FUBAR levels. I don't know why my data would be messed up. I have this fucking top-notch data. It says historical download complete, but there's no fucking data on the chart.
It's like no historical.
Yeah.
Are you what data feed are you hooked to right now?
I'm on Rhythmic.
Are you on the $39 plan or the $49 plan on CR charts?
I think I'm on. It's like $46 or something like that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I tried using my AMP account the other day and like I had to bump up my data subscription on Sierra charts to be allowed to use it or something. That's stupid, but my Apex stuff still works. So it's weird. When mine did something like that one time, I went into like the file folder for Sierra charts, and you can go into the data folder and find the ticker for the ES. And I I just deleted the whole historical file. That way it would like have to grab a whole new file.
That's
I mean, I don't know if you want to do that, but that's what I had done. Maybe put your Sierra charts on sim. Nothing crazy happens.
Let's try something quick.
Yeah, if the file's in use, it might not let you delete it. I think that happened to me too. I had to like close the chart book or something.
Well, here's what we could do.
You have to share TJ screen now.
Yeah, seriously. I can
Hurry up and pay your bill.
I wish that was the issue. The easy fix. You jinxed me. Yeah, it's like clearing the cache. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Try this method real quick. If not, I'll just open up NinjaTrader. I have the TPO on NinjaTrader, so I can just do that. Nope. How does it have all the data, but yet nothing historical?
Yeah, I know on mine, like when I log into Apex, on my data feed, it's got like a live data spot, then a historical data login spot. But it definitely looks like your historical's not working.
This fucking making me so mad. Back up here. This is only going to show us the 24-hour profile here. It looks like. Yeah, so we're only working with the 24-hour profile here, and we could see some volume. Try to zoom it in as much as we can. And we can look at it in an expanded format as well. Well, that's even worse than just having nothing.
If you need to close the stream down to like call the data people or whatever, we can jump in the TBO chat if you need us to. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's no worries. We can see what we're working with here. Thomas, if you're on Apex and you have you have to get the extra data, you'd have to pay for the level 2 data. No sense to me. So you can see we've broken that downtrend here. I have to do this old school and only trade using DOM or anything. You can see where a lot of the volume from the overnight session is coming in here as well. Just the algo here. Sorry for the technical difficulties today, guys. Oh, you know what we could do? Well, oh, it seems like Peter's having the same issue. Interesting.
Yeah, I've loaded, unloaded, reinstalled Sierra, re-downloaded it, and just I've given up on the day. So you know, but Double R gave me a heads up you were having the same problem or having a problem.
Yeah, it's annoying as shit. That's for sure. I don't understand why. Issue.
Because you're not using Rhythmic either, are you? You're using.
No, I am using Rhythmic.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm using Rhythmic as well, and like all my data from September 7th until whenever I open up the chart is gone, and I've downloaded and re-downloaded it with no, it just keeps doing the same thing.
It's which Apex provides.
Yes, that's Apex.
All right, so on Ninja, it's working fine. So I don't know, maybe it's a Sierra issue rather than a Ninja issue. I'm not sure because everything's working fine for me.
Yeah, that's what mine looks like too, bro. Same thing.
Could be. Let me message Sierra charts too then.
Yeah, it was the actual program rather than the data. You'd think it would be the data for sure. But it seems fine on mine.
Yeah, because mine's working. So
You guys are on Ninja, right, TJ?
I'm on Sierra charts.
Are you
Oh,
using
you're on
Rhythmic as well?
Hmm.
You are using Rhythmic, aren't you, TJ? Using Apex account?
Yeah, I'm on Apex. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's weird.
Are you using Brad's new chart book?
No, I've been using the old. I tried loading
one?
that one.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I was just
I've been using. the old one.
trying to rule that out, make sure that wasn't a common thing or whatever. It's weird how sometimes you change one setting and then everything gets screwed up.
I didn't change
So
anything.
yeah,
I just
that's
opened
probably not it then. So if you're using the old one and you're still not working.
Anyway.
I'll figure it out. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty resourceful. I won't. I mean, we can keep going on the market too. Like, I don't really need all those other periods to do it. We can figure this out together. It didn't save any of my shit either, which is fucking annoying. So I just had a bunch of levels up here that didn't save. Oh well. Basically, we're seeing some selling move down here, right off of that 57 again. So the market looked like it popped up here, got up about to that 60. Was that 66 here? Coming back down. Oh geez. Coming back down to that BWAP and bouncing again. Breath is still pretty weak. You're finally seeing a little bit of pullback in the NASDAQ breath here. Dollar's starting to kick up. It's back above 112. So yeah, it looks like, I don't know, it looks like it's a rhythmic issue. So you're seeing sellers get busy right here on the 56. Look at the volume coming in down here. Look at the weak spot here. And this is just, I mean, this is just in the last 30 minutes of time that we're kind of, deciphering this information. So bear with me if we are a little bit behind. We're seeing the trend here still hold though. Right on that VWAP. So you got to look below VWAP, pop above, look below VWAP again. Pretty decent rally there. And then now we're right back at that VWAP. Volume's filling this area in here. So sellers are in control below 56 here still. All counts are 104 to 1. I don't even know where that gap is at today. So back to 56. This is where sellers got busy earlier. You're starting to see a lot of volume come in. They need to hold this back down below. You've got stuck longs at the 57 quarter. And short covering right off the low. 21 contracts straight on that low. Watch the 57. If price gets above the 57, you might see a little bit of short covering, and they'll try to, tag back up into where this weak volume was at recently.
Brett, I won't let me do it in Discord, but if you want, I could try to like email you or send you the data file. I mean, I don't know how long it'll take you to get it fixed or whatever, but if you need me to send you anything, just let me know.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Did you have to delete your back data?
I did delete the back data to try to see if it would reload the right data because it was missing. It was missing like the data from when I closed my computer last night to when I opened it up this morning. Like there was like the middle of Globex was basically just not there.
Because now it lost all the data?
Well, and I deleted all the data now. So
Right, but it doesn't download. It should, when you grab historical, it should automatically update it.
it
That's
should.
weird. Freaking Sierra charts.
I know. Now that I'm just liking Sierra charts, it's gonna start giving me issues. Piece of shit.
Technology is not your friend. If there's one thing in my
Easy.
my
Air
years,
charts is awesome.
So look, sellers tried hard that 54 and they were able to get the liquidation. They're trying hard again here though at the 50-50 and not getting any progress. So they do not want this to get above this 52. Yeah, right here. They're moving down heavy. They do not want this thing to get back above 52. They're still trying. Look at the breath is coming down. Tick is finally coming down here. I'm just sitting here trading on my Dom. Only my Dom like a fucking... Who knows?
Like a degen.
Like a degen. There we go. Still, sellers still coming in. So sellers were able to fill that in. They held it below that 52. Where's the gap fill at? Gap fill, what was the high yesterday?
$37.02.50, I think.
Okay, so we've got some time still.
25 for mine. I think TJ's got the last in there as well, the 15 minutes after me. Oh no, sorry, you're right, mate. I completely missed 7:02.
I'm looking at my message log too, and it's not giving me error code. So today's a key indication of why we've got to be careful on extremely large gaps, right? The overall market for the most part, I mean, almost every sector is red. Consumer staples is barely green. We opened up at about 18 and now we're down at 6, so we're about a third. And we can see our weighted AD is just coming down. So the market opened up on a high gap, which is what gives us that high breadth. But we saw the break of the early of that zero level, kind of giving us an opportunity to get in on that fade and continue to the downside. I'd love to be in on this short, but I can only take really short trades because I can't really see any other levels below us. I don't really know. I don't really have any targets right now. I mean, the target, I think these singles down here would be probably the target here on this move lower. Here's our T2 low. I don't even know if that's right though, because it's not one of the other data is loaded on the other charts, so it can't be.
Who is 25.
A little bit of backing and filling here. Sellers want to get this thing back below 45 quarter here. There they go. And then buyers seem to be stepping up, or short covering seem to be happening right here on this 43 level. We'll look to see if they come back down to that level, if they're going to get any continuation. Brett's still cooling off here. Seeing some buying back in some of these other sectors, so you may get a little bit of a rotation here. Very steep move down is typically an indication of liquidation right there. So I moved down to the VWAP, and then everyone that was trying to hold the VWAP got liquidated. So look to see a little bit of a rotation up here possibly. This is going to ruin my shorts on YouTube. Just learned how to do it yesterday. Fact. Grace. T2s. Thanks, Tommy. Full rotation up fails right there at the 45. See the sellers just coming in heavy right there at that 45 as well. And I mean, with this extremely large gap up and the volatility of the market, today is not one of those days where, like, if you've gotten to, a long and you're just like, it's gonna come back, it's gonna come back. Today's, I mean, never is there a day where I recommend that, but today's definitely not one of those days. C period opens up, just taps the B low, starting to get a little bit more volume here. Sellers are trying to move down and offer this thing. There they go. One tick there. A little absorption on the low right there. 224 contracts traded on the low. AMD made a new low.
BTC and ETH are both coming down pretty good. I got shorts on both of them. It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah, Bitcoin come down 19.2. That'd be a phenomenal trade.
Brad, I put my TPO on in the TPO chat stream if you need to refer
Perfect.
to it. Or
Thank you.
yeah. I'm running all this on a Mac, so I don't know how long it's gonna work, but disclaimer.
Thanks, CJ.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Hey, Brad, I'm gonna head out. You come up with a solution. Can you let me know? I'll do the same.
Definitely, will do.
I appreciate it. You guys be good.
So we're one time framing lower here. Seeing some we're seeing decent volume. I mean, 1,000 contracts trading on that low there. So still decent volume coming in here on this low. Sellers look like or buyers look like they stepped up. Sellers might be stuck at the 40 here. Watch this 40, and you're seeing that bid step up on 40 as well. TJ's got 41.25 marked as support here. We're starting to see this box. Yeah, that's weird. The Globex session looks completely different. So that bid doesn't trade, but it does step up. But get above 0. Stick there. Remember, these shorts are fine. You're not going to see really any short covering. Might see a rotation, but as long as they hold this below that 46 quarter, these shorts seem to be they seem to be in decent position to maintain their shorts. Listen. They're hammering this low here. 1,100 contracts all traded on the bid down there. There they go. They got it. Offer still moving down. Yep. That tick. So they haven't even put in. I just tried to drag your chart up. They haven't even put in the full shebang here. There we go. Finally getting back down to that low 1,000. You're seeing that weighted AD really start to come down. Look at this. The tick is or the breadth is almost negative here. Those overnight buyers turned into sellers slowly but surely. Well, I mean, they're just getting shaken out there. Is that gap and trap, and we've kind of seen this play a couple of times. I feel like I mean they've been doing this kind of gap and trap move, over and over. Seems like a little short covering down there on the 50 or 34.50. What's this gray area? Oh, that's the gap. Okay. Did you get long right there? Yeah, I mean, it's tough to get long. Nothing's really. I mean, we're down so far. It's tough to get into a position at all down here because you really don't want to short the low, but you also don't want to long a one-time framing down market very often.
Yeah, I'm not in any trades, but I am watching this 35 area because that is the edge of the 3-day balance zone that I had marked. So I'm looking for if the 35 area holds, that we could trade to the other side of balance.
Okay.
I shut her down before you start the trade. We're trading very dangerous on a day like this. After this, I'm shutting down. I'm on a little bit at 34. I'm fanning it out into this move.
Was JJ long? That he's long?
No, he's not. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize my mic was still muted. He took a scalp.
Mm,
He's in a trade. He's in trades for like 10
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad, bro. Didn't mean to not be on mute.
It says that my data's good on Sierra. They're seeing the breadth come up a little bit. We got all the way down to 3, and now you're seeing that rotation. But really, like we said, that 46 level is really just the level 46, 47. If these sellers hold below that level, there's really, no stops that are going to come out. They're probably safe. Maybe above the 41. If we rotate above the 41 here, look like we got some longs kind of stuck that 41.50. So if they get above there, you might see some short covering. But that 46 quarter is kind of the level that I have my eye on right now. Nice, Jason. You hit it on the NASDAQ. Good stuff. 41.50 is initial balance low. Oh, yeah, that B low. Yeah.
I put the broad TPO photo in the chat of the TPO chat stream. If you need to reference it, that balance zone I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I see it. So we're right back at that low. Okay. Well, it's a pretty decent move off this low. Look to see if it fills these single prints in this B period up here above. If we do fill the single prints above, you will have to start treating this C low as excess. And we had a lot of inventory come in down here around this 34. And if the market trades back down lower, around that 36, 37 area and does a little bit of backing and filling, as you can see here, like we've got some thin spots in here, and that's around that 36, 38 level. If we come back down and fill this level and don't break this low, you really want to treat this as excess, especially as the market's above that initial balance, and you'll be targeting really probably some of these weaker points in the structure up here around that 52, and a break of that 46. I think that's probably where the market's going, is that 52. Of course, we want to see the rest of the market agree, right? We want to see the tick start to get positive, like to see the breadth keep going up, right? It's starting to make a little bit of upticks here. And we need to see a break of this trend, obviously, as well. We're not just buying here, just assuming that C period is going to hold as excess, but that's what we need to kind of assume. Just like yesterday, how we assumed that B period was that upper excess, and really, it ended up holding all day. Be really cool if they miss it. Well, there's the break of that 46. Oh, and 52 happens to be the VWAP too. I didn't even notice that, but 52 is just weak structure as well. So see if these stops come out here. Shorts are starting to cover and bids are stepping up here. Offers kind of trying to smash here too. Little competition right here at the 47. Yeah, so far sellers trying to hold their ground here. Buyers stuck on that 47.75 right there. Pop, good morning. How's it going?
And I tried to catch that break. What was that? Like the 42 half up to the 50, but the stupid Sierra charts makes me confirm each order, and when I hit enter, it didn't go through, and it was hiding behind the screen I had popped out. Okay, click it.
You can get rid of that.
I know I've tried, and like I have the confirmation thing turned off, but I don't know, it still pops up. So I don't know if it's because I'm on an older version of Sierra charts. Like I don't know if I just need to update it.
Oh, have you not updated Sierra chart since you downloaded it?
I've done it twice. I'm on like 2383 version. But yeah, I don't know, something about it being on the Mac. It's just a whole bunch of different steps. Like I can't just hit the update button in Sierra charts and hit update. I don't know. It's weird. We've tagged the 50 now. That's normally what I look for, for like signs of exhaustion. So normally I'll look for it to retest the low, and then based on how that acts down there, come up with a game plan.
So like you're looking for it to trade back down here, see if it gets support, and then, or you're looking to get short.
It depends. So like on the reversion trade, I look for, after we've had a downtrend for a while, it'll break the 13, which it did in that little pop that I was talking about, and it goes to the 50, and then people reshort or whatever, and normally it'll try the low that it put in again. And just based on how it reacts, I start kind of gathering MGI to see if it's starting to build the setup. Like this could come lower and it create like the first bullish divergence, and then it'll rotate up one more time, and then it'll come back down one more time, and that'll kind of give me like my trigger signal.
Oh, okay.
Or if it just breaks the low, then it could tell us, we got more supply than we thought, and gonna keep going down. But we filled those signals, and we're against the gap, which should be buying power,
Right.
buying pressure. So I'm looking for, if I start getting my mean reversion signals in here, and I already had that you can't see it on here, but the broad outlook was a potential long from the 35 area to trade back to the POC, back to the other side of balance. Or the POC is like what that POC that the poor high got put in on the overnight.
TJ, are you looking at bullish divergence on the 1 minute chart?
Yes.
Has that been pretty accurate for you?
Yeah. For bigger moves, like you'll get 3 bullish divergences in a row before, and then I look for the one where the trend, like it's not a divergence anymore, like they're both pointing in the same direction. So to be like diverging, actually turning, going. Like that's kind of how it looks on the 1 minute when it's a bigger turn, like a mean reversion or something.
You could see the tick here really trying to climb up here with the market. Right, you can see we put in that excess and that C low, and then the tick is still staying pretty strong above this 0, and you're starting to see the breath pick up here. Remember down here at this low, right here at this low, we were looking at about 3 to 1 here, and now we're about 5 to 1. So you're starting to see some, it's hard to tell whether it's short covering or whether it's some buyers, but starting to see a little bit of these buyers trying to step up here. Amazing how much of a motivator pain is. I used to get put to bed because I couldn't wait to trade in the mornings. Now I have to make myself get up even though I know it's gonna hurt. Is it your back is still killing you? Yeah, back pain is the fucking worst. We got 95 people watching. So if you guys are joining us for the first time and looking to get in a community of people that are like-minded and looking to just, trade fast and slow, take it a day at a time, go ahead and smash that like button or post in the chat that you'd like to get into the Discord. The only thing that we ask is that you be positive and respectful, right? Everyone's on a different path in their journey or trading, and we know that we don't want to be putting anyone down. Everyone's at a different spot, right? A little bit more experience, a little bit less experience. There's no point to badmouth anyone. If this is your first time seeing the TPO, which we're seeing right here on the left side of the chart, or the market profile trademark, it is a distribution of the auction market, right? The market is a two-way auction. If you haven't heard of that, now you have. And basically what we're seeing here is how the distribution goes throughout the day, right? This is in a place where we trade value and not price. So if you're price addicted, this may be a hard transition to come over, but believe me, it will help. And welcome to the Trade Vets. We're glad to have you. I don't know if I don't know what's going on with the channel right now, but there's a lot of people on it sitting online. Normally we're at like 20. So, welcome. Definitely ask some questions if you have some questions. If you're not used to seeing what you're seeing on the screen, and let us know. Yeah, I think that might be the most we've ever seen. Maybe we got like the right title or something. So we see the market hold that trend again. So watch here again. That 47 was the battleground earlier, and we'll look to see if these stops come out. You can see the weak volume sitting right there, right at that 46 level. And this is where the longs got trapped. 47.75 is where I have them written down trapped. So if the market gets above there, we can kind of expect to get up here and, you know, that 52, right where that VWAP's at. This is the VWAP over here, 24-hour VWAP sitting right up there at 52. And look at the breadth, still climbing up here. Remember, down at the low, when we're in this excess, we're at about 3. Market trying to hold the 0 level on the tick here, though, but so far fairly balanced as far as buyers and sellers. We had this liquidation. The market's still one time framing lower. Still have about 2 minutes until D period opens up. Yeah, and if this is your first time watching, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe and click the bell. We're live every day around 9 o'clock Eastern time, talking our way through the market. And this is not one of those channels where, we're looking to get rich quick. We understand that the process of becoming what I refer to as a risk manager takes time. And, that's what we try to do, just kind of decipher the market as the days go on. Weighted AD is getting a little, breath is starting to slip a little bit here. This is where we were talking about. There's a little bit of opportunity here. If these sellers can't push past this 36, remember we talked about this 36, because we had some sellers get heavy down here at the 34. If they can't really push past this 36, it might be an opportunity there. Still a higher risk spot. So come on, hit the like button. It's easy. AMD's on the new low. Still making lower highs as well. Keep trying to drag your chart. Sorry. All right, so we've got single prints above. So C period close those single prints in B. And now we've got single prints above here. So the key here would be if D period isn't able to extend past lower part of C, we'll look for them to clear those singles. Watch this 36 level, right where we're at right now. Liquidation. Breath is falling off here. That's not a good sign for a long. 4 low here. There's a big bid on the 31.75, 400 lots. Yeah, it looks like we want it. Offer trying to come down. Sellers just got stuck down here at the 33. So we're still seeing volume come in down here. Sellers really trying to kind of hold this thing lower. Not a ton, right? Not relatively the same. We had a lot of volume coming around the 40.75, 40 area where they really kind of liquidated from. That's where the impulse was at, 38, 38.40. And a key concept here, a lot of people say double bottom is strength, but they don't really know why. They just say the double bottom is a bounce, right? So you're kind of seeing that double bottom look here. And what you want to think about is think about the auction process. And so as we're seeing sellers move down and move down and move down, if we're seeing the market bottom out around the same spot, that's telling us that sellers are not willing to move down and sell at lower prices. Right, so the supply is kind of running out at that level. I don't know if that's an error or what. 126 people. $38, $7. Breath is starting to pick back up a little bit. We got down to 4 at that low. We're starting to fill in around this 35, 36 area. See if they get that low. There's that big bid that was down there at the 31 is gone. There was a 400 lot, so it looks like that big bid might have moved up. And we may have some sellers trapped here on the 33. Yep. Because I'm a good trader. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, randomly one day, all of a sudden, just hit the algorithm the right way. So here comes the short covering. Sellers got stuck right there. 37.5. 37, basically from like 37, 36 half to 37 half. These sellers need to try to move it back down. We're looking to fill these single prints here. Breath is picking back up. Tick is looking pretty decent here. Starting to see this continuation.
Man, I closed some of that early.
TJ.
I'm not in my normal flow, you know. Got the screen going, my stuff's in a different spot. I'm having to like work
Sorry,
around these
bro.
conversations.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. Hey, I'd rather, bro. You've poured into me a ton. I'd rather help out.
Yeah, I appreciate it for sure. So bid steps up to 36 quarter. Sellers are still trying. Where's the area last time? 41. Yeah, 40, 41 was the area last time. So above that level, we should see some shorts come out because that's going to close our single prints here. And I still like that 52 area as an area for the market to try to get back up to. So we got to take it one step at a time. Hello? Cody, thank you for the sub. And all of you other people that are watching for the first time, you know, thanks for joining the channel and glad to have you. So we're seeing another little downtrend inside of a downtrend here. Buyers looking to kind of just be struggling to get anything really going here. We have a poor low forming, right? It's a weak reference. Still inside the Globex range though, not really any significant downside at least. And you're starting to see, you know, even at these lower prices, the breadth is still holding this 5-1 here. I appreciate it, Reyes, man. Thank you. Higher step up on the 34 right there. So that was just a little pop-up short covering. These sellers are still moving down here. See if they're going to fix this low. That big bid's back. It trades. There they go. They got it. Liquidation. Level down that I have marked is like 26. You can kind of see this is that upper distribution of Globex, and we've got this lower distribution down here, and basically getting separated right here at this 23. That's going to be their target to see if they get back down to that lower distribution. The Bitcoin trade, let's take a peek here.
I got short 19,550.
Yeah, you shorted the top. So with Bitcoin breaking below that that weekly VWAP, you're kind of in a situation where you've got to be careful here, and this thing might keep going back to this previous all these previous points of control, right? It wasn't able to kind of hold. This is where we wanted to see it hold. It held it yesterday, and then held it again into the Asia session early on, but since kind of balancing lower. So I mean, if you get some rotations, as long as you're still above that 19.4. I mean, I think a better entry is probably down here around this 19.1. If we get rotation, and don't get back above this 19.4, this is probably the target here on this liquidation. And then, you definitely want to be paying attention to the overall market, as, for the most part, the market is just making lower lows, right? Lower highs and lower lows. And typically, especially in a risk-off situation, if we pull over our watch list here, I mean, you can kind of see dollar is up. I mean, not much, but it's up. Euro starting to slip here. NASDAQ starting to slip. You can see Apple, right, was up like 3%, only up 1%. AMD's coming down. Amazon's coming down. The TNX is above 40. We've talked about this number right here. 40, above 40 is not a good look for the market. So that's putting a little bit of pressure on the market right there. So we've got a lot of indications really kind of telling us that the long side is just not going for it right now. I mean, we're not getting a lot of movement down. We're taking a lot of volume in right here around this 29 level, but you're not getting that kind of continuation that you would expect if there was a seller. Really, I kind of think today is mostly just liquidation. A lot of longs just liquidating. They were able to bully the market overnight, took it up a lot higher, and they're just kind of covering because we're still inside the upper distribution of the Globex session. So there's not really any big big downside yet, as far as like a longer term seller entering the market. You're seeing a lot of volume come in here around this 29 area. All right, Zoe, have a good night. We'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully with less technical difficulties. So sellers staying busy here. Move down to the 27. Gonna want to see them hold that 27. So they're looking to break back into this lower distribution. There it is. Next level down I have is 37.12.
I hate when Sierra charts doesn't it?
Starting to see the liquidation. The breath is cooling off. Tick's getting below zero. So tick getting below the 1,000 while the market's making a new low is not an exhaustion sign. I know we've talked about that before, how if the tick gets below zero, but that's when the market's not making a new low, and right now the market is making a new low. A little bit of short covering going on down there at this low, though, it looks like. On the 1775, 17.5 level. And today kind of looks like the opposite of yesterday, right? Every pop gets met with offers, right? Yesterday, every drop got met with people with bids, but today it looks like, you know, everyone's just kind of a rinse and repeat type of day. They were able to gap them and trap them. And below 12, I don't really have anything till 36.98, 3700. And we're getting close back into that previous day's levels down to fill the gap. A pretty large gap fill. And we saw this, was that last week Thursday, we saw a large gap fill on that big move down off the NFPs. Or was it CPI? Yeah, the CPI. And then we still have a big CME gap below that from yesterday as well. After yesterday just kind of moved higher and just balanced before breaking out to the high. They're able to trap enough short inventory to move the market higher. Sellers coming in right there. So big seller kind of sitting on this 19 level. Bigger seller. But Clipper, yeah, I mean, I hope that answered your question. Really, I think that the safest play with that Bitcoin long would just be to wait until you see the market start to settle, right? Until all of these people get done selling all of their inventory that they have. I mean, we're just, you know, that you could see the breath coming all the way back down. It was up at 16 or 18 at the open, down at, you know, just under 3 now. Every sector is red. Okay, yeah, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong, right? One of the best trades of a trader, especially a trader that's gonna be consistent and last over time, is gonna be being able to take a small loss, right? Being a good loser. Yeah, and Bitcoin typically tends to be dramatic comparatively to a you know, to the market, right? The market drops, you know, 2%, Bitcoin drops 10%, something like that. A lot of volume coming in down here at the 16 as well. Remember that seller was sitting like right on the 19 level, so above the 19, you may get a little bit of short covering. And the target up that would be 23. That's where the weak spot is on the profile. See it right here. You see the weak spot here. There's a little weak spot right here about this 21, but the 23 is where the weak spot's at. So if shorts do cover, look for a re-offer here for these sellers that are short from up here to move down and kind of backfill this area if they want to get continuation. And think about it here, like we're seeing the inventory move, right? And so if you're a seller here and you're buying some back here and you didn't get a chance to sell here and the market moves up, you're like, oh, well, you know, I had to buy my position back here. I'll sell a little bit more here, knowing that your break even is still, you know, it's still just going to move down a little bit if you add right here into the short. So Starting to see a bullish divergence on the lower time frame, so short pressure could be dwindling. Yeah, I mean, look at the breadth here, and we're seeing basically what we're seeing is we're just seeing these short covering pops, and then as soon as buyers step in, sellers step in to meet them. So it's tough, really. You know, you could ride some of these short coverings. Like we might see a little bit of short covering pop up right here, but it's tough to really get on board along and stay in along with, you know, with how the overall day has been going. Well, you've got about, well, we've still got about 17 minutes or 12 minutes, excuse me, to E period opening up. So sellers still sitting right here on this 19 area. If they give it up. Yeah, you got weak spot 23, weak spot 25 as well. Right here, 221 contract. And not enough for you to enter. Yeah, that's a tough one.
This gray area that says gap was the original gap that we had above us, just so you know.
Okay.
So we filled it in RTH now. It's like the gap down from like the 6th, I think.
Yeah, every time, I mean, every time they try to get anything going, these buyers, it's mostly just shorts just covering, and then it's just a matter of, so what we're looking for is we're looking for desperation, right? We're looking for what Jim Dalton calls the laggard sellers, right? So people that haven't been convinced of the downside yet, once they start to come in, that's when the market will turn around. So those sellers that didn't believe in the downside, right? They're like, no, this thing's not going to keep going, and then, you know, something is going to trigger them to finally be like, oh shit, it's going to crash, and that's who shorts the bottom of these moves. And we really haven't seen that desperation look yet, because we still get these short covering rallies, and they keep getting sold off, right? They're getting less and less as you know, there's less liquidity here to cover back up, to short cover. And then let me take a peek at the volume real quick total. So there's that 12 we were looking for. I'm gonna flatten my short right here. I think I'm done. We could go back down to like 3,700 though, but I'm gonna flatten here. I'm only working with like one chart anyway, so volume is, so it's about 6% more than yesterday. So it is getting a little bit less. We start off around 10%, or about 6.5% more than yesterday. So still increase in volume on this move down, but starting to get a little bit lighter as the move continues. We keep putting in these steeper downtrends here. $37.06 is yesterday's close, I think. Or no, was yesterday's the Globex open. And then 36.99 was the last trade. 36.99 half was the last trade. Could have held on to that one for a couple more tickets, but no need.
right, I'll be right back. I gotta go take the dogs out real quick.
Okay, for sure. Today's been a textbook open drive situation. Yep, pretty much. I mean, we did a little dancing right in the beginning for like the first couple minutes, yeah, but for the most part, we just started moving lower. There was a little bit of rotation early on during A period that, you saw a couple buyers trying to come in, some laggard buyers, right? That desperation. They missed the upside from Globex. They get on their computer, they're seeing Globex is up, 2% overnight, and they're like, I missed it. I'm going to get long. And then obfuscate. The downside gets them. And that's kind of the key. You get these dip buyers, people just been buying all day, when really, nothing. I mean, there's been opportunities, right? There's been rotations, but there's not really anything telling you in the overall market as far as you should be getting long, right? Every sector is red. I mean, look at tech, right? Tech's down 2.5% from the open here, but every sector is red from the open. Every single one. 11 out of 11. Our breadth has been cut in, 18 down to 2, right? Our weighted AD is just making lower lows. The market's making lower lows. Oh, shit. We really haven't had an opportunity or any kind of key indication. And every time we've looked for that setup to where we're going to go, we get that little short covering rally, no buyers step up, and then it gets reoffered and the market just continues lower. Next level down here really is that 36.98 level. That's the next level that I am looking at. And you can see the last 36.99 half. The market looks like it's about to fill the gap. They're just moving down. Big offer just jumped down right on the 5. 635 lots. And it gets lifted. So that's an interesting look there. Now we see the desperation.
All right, back. Just let me know if you need me to move anything around.
Oh, no, you're good. We just saw desperation from sellers. They just exited their positions on the gap close. So you get a little 4-point bounce there, 5-point bounce. Remember, we're watching that 5 level where everyone just covered. Back to the 11. So look to see if there's a reoffer here. This is going to be the key. Is there going to be a reoffer, or is the market done with this downside? Finally breaking a little downtrend here. Finally did break a little downtrend here. So I'm going to remove this. Oh, sorry. Remember, the 5 is going to be, if this thing can't get down to the 5, then we're probably going to get a decent pop. But if we get down to the 5 and we start to see a lot of selling come in and we don't see the market make a new low, that's going to be our key indication, right? And if we don't get down to the 5, that's going to be an indication too that sellers are a little bit exhausted here. But it does kind of look like a little that was kind of like the laggard sellers finally deciding, oh, I'm going to short the fucking low. And that's kind of the look that I think that we might have just seen. Really tough to try, to try it here though. That's the thing, is like you're like, oh, we're finally seeing these lows, bids are stepping up, and we saw the capitulation. All these shorts finally are like, they're sitting on the sidelines, finally decided to jump in the short and got trapped at the 5. Look for the market to trade above 12. That's where the short covering should come in, and you look to 1675 probably. Big offer coming down again here, right on the 9. Didn't get lifted as quick this time though. And it's not chasing price, so that's interesting. It's getting refilled, so it's reoffered right there, the 9. So watch the 5 here. So now you're watching two levels right next to each other, the 9 and the 5. Into 5, just like the job that you don't want to have, that you probably have. Right? And if you're one of these 119 people watching us on YouTube, that's what we're trying to help you replace, is that 9 to 5, right? Give you that time to value. TTV stands for the trade vets, but also time to value. That offer moved out of the way and then jumped back on. Big 70900 lot trade. It didn't let, oh, it's getting lifted here. It got lifted. Yep, here we go.
It would make sense. Anybody shorting yesterday's profile would have been trapped, all day. So it'd be interesting to see how many people are still stuck that need to cover right here. Might be
Right.
value pressure.
And they are. Look at, here's at the 10, and another 300 lots looking to try to cover getting out right here. Let's see if this offer gets lifted. If we get another pop above, oh, they're chasing price now. They moved down a little bit. So they're trying to give it a little bit of room to breathe. Nope, they moved back down to the 9, 576 lots. We're still 9 to 5 here. So the key here is on this low, look to see if a bunch of selling comes in and the low doesn't get taken. We get a lot of selling and the low doesn't get taken, that will be that capitulation point. Kind of seeing that bounce back up again. A lot of selling came in right here on the 8.5 and the 9. We keep coming right back to it. The gap is missing like 2 ticks of closing, because the gap closes on 7,250 and the low is 3/4. Offer got lifted. Big buy orders on the 850, 126, 128 lots. So 3,700 looks so attractive. I'd buy at 3,701 up, 3,711 if it gets there. I mean, if it breaks the low, I don't know if I'd like that. I think you'd be better off waiting to see how that acts on the point of control if it breaks that 3,700. Because 3,700, you've got to figure a lot of people are, that's where their stop's at. So if they get all that liquidity, if the seller gets all this liquidity off of them, he will have the opportunity to push price lower because he has the juice now. But as of right now, there's no juice because we keep holding that 5. Like fucking Tupac. I got the juice now.
Need them to give up this 10 to 12 area.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
some fear.
Yeah, if they give that up, we should get a decent little pop. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity trading down here. A little move down there. I mean, we haven't even been back to this 5 yet. Let's see if we get it here. There it is. Let's see if they can take the low. Watch the volume come in. A lot of people's stops are probably right at this gap low too. And here's E period. Another poor low. It's a weak reference. Offer moves down to the 6. We get some good volume down there, but look, didn't make a new low there.
Come on, 10. Jeez.
Yeah, you should be good.
Get scared. Get scared.
It kind of looks like a lot of longs are getting stuck now. Maybe at around this 10. I need to get this thing above and shake these stops out. Here we go.
Took one off at 9.
You got out?
Took one off at 9 because, when you take a little off, it'll keep going up,
Yeah.
I got him.
Take a couple of things out of your rucksack. Make the walk a little bit easier.
Man.
Starting to see bids meet offers here. Volume coming in. If this thing can't break the low, so if you're short here and we don't break the low, we should probably head back down towards the settle. But if we don't break the low, just be careful staying short, especially if it gets above that 10. You could get caught there, and that could be a sticky situation. Looks like they've got it though. There's a low. So the gap is filled. It took them some hard work to get that low there. Or low is fixed. So now you know where all your stuck longs are at. All your stuck longs are basically from 850 to 10. I don't know if that was all of them. That's not very much volume right there down on that low. There's that 3701, Jake. Tagged it to the tick. And actually had 7 contracts trade on it too. So you could have gotten filled there. Not that I was recommending it. Offer still moved down. 371 lots sitting right on the 00 here. So E period still holding those, or D period still holding those single prints from C, and then now E period single prints and D period. So still a bunch of trapped inventory above. Yeah, I mean, I think we probably head down, especially if we get some rotations here, we probably head down towards that point of control. I think we are getting close to that capitulation point, though. That 5, the way that that 5 traded, it really did seem like people were trying to force their way out of the market. Netflix is down 2.75, so Netflix preparing for earnings. Meta's down 1.9, AMD's down 2.5, Apple's almost back to even, Microsoft down 0.85, Nvidia down 2%, PNX at 4060, Tesla's down 0.5% here as well. Now you're seeing the breath get back to the ones for the first time. Oof, I accidentally clicked in right there. So right now the market's rotating inside the previous day's range, right? So what we're looking for is acceptance or rejection. Is the market going to get accepted inside yesterday's range? Or is it going to get accepted inside yesterday's value? That ELO is one tick into yesterday's value area. If we start to see rotations below, well, I haven't seen this in a while. This reminds me of like these some of these this volume and how it's coming in reminds me of like 2020 type situations. Interesting. But if we get these rotations inside yesterday's value, the more rotations we get and the more time we spend inside yesterday's value, the better the odds are that the market accepts back into yesterday's range, and then we'll look for it to trade to that point of control and to the opposite side of yesterday's value, which would be around that 3682, where you see TJ has that area kind of marked in blue down there. A lot of volume, lot of bids trying to trade up this this OO area, this 3700. Lot of volume, lot of bids trying. Echo. Right, you're seeing them try to lift this. There it is. Yeah, so they were just trying to get heavy right there, and there's still, I mean, it looks like there's I mean, something's going on right here at this 3,700. The way that this market is kind of trading, it has, you know, it has kind of like that 2020 April kind of feel. Not necessarily the crash, because we know that the crash is coming in on the after the 28th of October, after Elon doesn't buy Twitter. Right, we've been forecasting that for a while now. Laggards coming in. Yep, and watch to see the 5, right? We know we've got a bunch of trapped inventory up at the 10, but we know there's a lot of inventory that came in on the 5 there. And if they don't reoffer the 5, then the next target up, you know, just makes sense to be the 10. And you've got that, you know, opportunity for excess on the low here again. And we have about 15 minutes left until F period opens up. Look at that bigger bid sitting on the 5 here, 304 lots now. It trades 125 lots on the bid at 575. Sellers look stuck on the 5 quarter 575 area here. Weak spot up is 12. At 10, 12 areas where all those longs are trapped. Just the way that it's trading. It's not really respecting any references, double R. Like, I mean, it's just doing, it's just kind of all over the place. Like the volatility is what's reminding me of it. You know, we're just not getting, you're not getting any real like analysis or real trading. It seems like there's just all emotion in the market, and that's kind of what reminds me of 2020 is, you know, very emotional market. This is where we want to be careful with that Bitcoin short, Kevin.
Yeah, I think about getting out right now, actually.
Yeah, just be careful here because we didn't trade back down to that value area low from the previous day. And you're starting to...
Right.
I mean, you could wait for confirmation, right? I mean, you could... I'm not sure where you got short at, but cessation of one time framing would give you a little bit of confirmation. But yeah, just, you know, now's the time to be a little bit careful. Maybe take a piece of it off and then try to let it run a little bit. But we're breaking an uptrend like this, and yeah, and I think there's a lot of shorts that are.
Yeah, I was hoping that ETH was going to stay under 1,300, but let's see what's back up. Probably, I think I'll take half out, like you're saying.
Not a bad idea. I keep trying to fucking drag your chart around something.
Yeah, where you want it up or down?
Nah, that's good. I just like, you know how much I move my charts, so I just fucking...
Yeah. I know, I'm always just tweaking it too. I keep going to do it, and I'm like, quit trying to move the chart.
If you got to move it, like I said, this is your chart. So if you got to move it. You know, don't worry about the stream at all. I do appreciate you sharing your screen for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
So you're seeing a little bit of a reoffer here. Sellers trying to hold the 10 again. This is that spot earlier, this 10 to 12 area. If they give this up, probably the trend would probably take us up like the 20 maybe. Got that 50 SMA at 37.14. I don't think that's really going to get in the way here. Seller's still trying it. They're covering, a little bit of covering here. Keep covering. Sometimes you got to motivate the market. Those of you guys that are new to the channel, might just learn that for the first time. You got to motivate the market to do what you need it to do. And that target still, still that 23 area is a level that I like as a weak spot. And then even up all the way to 43, this thing could rotate. But the key here really to watch is this lower distribution. So now that we're back inside the Globex range, we kind of checked inside the previous day's value, got bought up, right? So people are like, oh no, we still like these prices. So the responsive seller or initiative seller buying above yesterday's value said, you know what, I still like the prices here. This 3,700 still seems fair to me. Comes in, right? Sellers from here didn't move down. They're like, no, I want to sell that level. They're like, okay, fine, you can buy it up. And so now the key is to watch this distribution here versus this distribution here, right? And I'm kind of cutting it down a little bit. But so, that 23 area right here where we see this kind of weak volume, 21 area, excuse me, and then, right there, 23 is kind of the key area. Are these sellers going to move down from, there's another distribution up higher? Are they going to move down and sell and keep in this lower distribution? And if they do and they respond, we should go back to yesterday's range. But if we don't get that response and start to just rotate up here and backfill this kind of weak spot on the profile, there's good odds that we test that top of the value or of this distribution, which is, right there where that kind of weak volume is at. And that's the 20, 23, 21 area. You see a little bit of selling off the 50.
Yeah, but that's a really good idea, actually. I don't know how to do more because, I cut half my trade, so I'm up 180 for the day, and then both my stops are in profit. So just let it ride. I mean, it's perfect.
Fuck yeah, good shit, bro. And
Thanks, man.
it's only, I mean, shit, where you're at, it's not even noon. Barely breakfast time.
Right, yeah. Today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But usually after you go to lunch, it seems to plateau off for a while if you go to lunch for some reason.
Yeah, normally it starts to chill out a little bit. Yeah, it just seems so emotional, Double R. The market just seems so emotional. And you just seem like, and that happens a lot of times when risk gets up right here. And we haven't had an elevated VIX like sitting over the 30 mark for this extended period of time for a while. And you're seeing a lot of people like, they get that FOMO, you know what I mean? The market's moving heavy and they're like, I'm going to miss the bottom. And so then they just start to, power in, and then that's what big money or smart money takes advantage of. And that's why we try to track that. I'm in PA.
We're at the bottom of these 1 minute candles from around like 11:17, 11:15.
Don't remind it. We just got to get to 37.21 and take this thing back to hell if you want.
It needs one more rotation before it goes up, bro.
Tick seems to have peaked above 600.
Yeah, the tick got a pretty strong bounce off of that low for sure. And you're seeing the breadth climb back up to the 3, You know, so you're seeing a decent bounce here. I'm not getting too carried away just assuming that it's gonna sky back to the high, but I do think that there was a lot of shorts that you know, they powered in on that 5 hard. They were able to take the low a little bit, but nothing really too crazy. Oh, we're getting invaded
Yeah,
by
there's a lot of volume right there.
sex bots. I'm out for you, Tinder. Yeah, that is a lot of volume on the 15. 1,800 contracts trade on this top tick right here. All on the offer. 2,000.
Yeah, I almost got back in my long on the 11:44 candle, but I was like, I'm gonna wait for this to set up a little better.
Yeah, I mean, there's someone absorbing on the 15 right there for sure. It looks like you might get an opportunity to rotate down. I don't know if you're gonna get much below 11. If it gets below 11, it could start to really come back down. But if these buyers are stepping up, they should hold around 11. So sellers covering. Liquidation.
We haven't been able to get over the 50 at all, so we got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is that what it rejected off on the right-hand side in that bottom right
Yeah.
chart? Is that the 50?
Yeah, this blue line is the 50.
So rejected right off the 50.
You know what's right here? I have that 20 daily 20 sitting at 37.19. That's kind of in line with where that initial push down came from. Maybe get a rotation down to like the 6, 8 level. Buyers are still trying to hold, but
Yeah, the bottom of the box before the low got put in, like the 3704 ish, is kind of where I normally like estimate the rotation. Yeah, the candles are kind of like right off the screen to the left.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like the bottom of the yeah, that the bottom of those boxes, like the fourish.
They held that
Actually,
11 pretty decent. I mean, it got down to 9.
yeah,
See if it gets rejected off that 15 again. It just doesn't make sense if they hold that 15. It might pop the 15 and then come back down though, so be careful. That's what we see a lot of times when you get a lot of these bids or offers that are on just a single side. Like we've got 2,300 contracts right here, right on the top tick, all trading on the offer. A lot of times you'll get a little pop, which will be the stops popping off, and then the flush after. So got 3,000 lots there. Yeah, it does. It kind of looks like Bitcoin's trying to flip a little bit as well. Get 3,400 lots on that top tick. Big absorption coming in right there.
Man, they're stacking that thing.
Yeah, they are. Holy crap.
Come on, F. Hit the D low first, then go up. Then go.
I just keep coming down.
That period pops.
And honestly, I hate when I see like people stacking a spot like that when I'm looking at a trade area because I feel like it always jacks stuff up. Like as soon as it would get above it or something, like then they just like drop the rest of it, like market order, and just smack it back down.
Yep.
And it, like traps you.
And that's kind of what they're trying to do here, I think, too. You know, they're trying to get these momentum traders to pile into the long here, and then they're going to use that liquidity.
They don't call them market makers for nothing.
They've been doing a piss poor job lately, though.
Man, look at that freaking volume on that one letter.
God.
That's insane.
And that's basically the 20. That's basically the 20 moving average on the daily chart. For the most part. This is at the 15 here, but it's the 17 at least. I mean, so they're just, that's pretty much where it's at. They're selling that 20 SMA.
My bad, guys.
But so the key context here really is today, even though we're down from the open, is still kind of a bullish day if you think about it in a longer term perspective, because you know the market's repairing weak structure here at a higher price, and we have an excess low still. So there's no
Apple already filled back to green. IT sector hasn't moved a whole lot though. So maybe that's not a definitive sign.
no you know, I mean it as much of a down day as today is, and you could see like from high to low we came down about 2%, but the market's still up technically 0.69 from yesterday's close, yesterday's settle. And I think today is one of those days that gets a lot of people. And I'm not saying like, because we're intraday trading, right? So we're trading with the intraday market, but I'm more talking about a longer term perspective right now, as far as, and I do kind of think that the market is going to be, kind of going up into the 28th. That's why after that, that's kind of where I think the whole Tesla situation is.
This POC just moved down.
All right, Brad, I found it.
Oh my God, you're fucking just computer worthless.
I am.
Jesus.
I really am.
It's in the same fucking spot every single day.
Dude, listen. Okay. It's all good.
No, I think that it's tricked shorter time frame traders into exiting their longer, intermediate time frame traders into exiting their longs. Right? So with this kind of move down, I mean, I don't know what the fuck is going on at this 15. This is just insane. How much volume are we going to put in here? Like
Yeah,
I want to go eat lunch, but I want to see this thing. I know as soon as I fucking turn around to walk upstairs, it's just going to explode.
we got a 45-degree coming up on those 1 minute candles too. Towards it,
Oh yeah.
I was gonna
Seems
say
like
I
it
don't
would break.
even have my chart pulled up anymore. I just closed it down to figure this out. But I was gonna say I bought the prior day high. It was at 02.
The prior day high?
Yeah.
Yeah, 250.
Yeah. And ended up buying that, and then I took some heat, but I just stayed in the trade and then finally got out at like 10 or 12 or something.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a nice trade.
Yeah, so like for swing traders, exactly. And that's how like these longer term frame traders are able to kind of capture that liquidity. And if you think about it, you've got a bunch of shorter time frame traders that were selling, like we saw on the 5, right? They just got short on the 5, and then they got short again on the 3700. And then, we didn't see really any continuation. We ticked one tick into yesterday's value. But this is just my my guess, basically, or kind of like what my analyst is for right now. There goes, finally. Pop, block, and drop. Just like
Man,
just
look
like
at
with
them.
yeah.
Oh, they're like, okay, come get it. Whack.
And so now we'll look to see this 12 to 850 or 950 is where they should try to hold. We're getting a little break of trend here. And then even down here, if they break that, they break this level. I mean, buyers are trying to step up here, but we have all the way down to 850. But if they break that 850, then we'll look for that 6.
Oh yeah.
And 6/4 was the Globex open. That's what this pink line is.
Man, I don't even know if I want to trade in this area now. Some big player like that in here, jeez. Like 23,000 contracts on that 15.
I just want us to go to 23, 20. I'll even take 21 if that's all we can have.
Bro, you sat through all that hammering the 15?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it
Holy
just
crap, AMD's on a tear.
they're just not like they just weren't going down. It didn't seem like. All right.
AMD just jumped in 40 seconds, jumped like 35 cents.
I just think that we called it as a team. So good work. We saw and identified the turn of the market together. So today is a day where we can refer back to this. You know, we'll clip it. There's a 23.
I marked it on the calendar.
And we can refer back to it. How to identify a market reversal, right? Is it going to continue? We have no idea, right? There's no way to know until the day's over. But we took our trade, took it to 23. I'm out of the trade, so now we can be happy. And we can go get some lunch.
I'm in a
You were
great
calling it
mood now.
20. We're calling it at 20, right? 20, 22, something like that.
Yeah, I wanted it to see 21, 23. But there's another weak spot above. If you scroll up a little bit, TJ. It's in the C single prints. There's that, yeah, there's that, the 31, but there's another weak spot above. Keep scrolling up if you don't mind. But oh no, maybe this is it. Maybe it's the
Might have been the one that you were targeting right here.
Yeah.
When we took these stops, there's that thin spot right here.
Okay, yeah. And so now, just before we get off, you can just put it back to how you want it. Before we get off,
oh shoot,
let's see our charts. We have the look into yesterday's value, and so this is kind of what we talked about, that distribution, right? It didn't get below that distribution, wasn't able to get below. Steps back up. Now we're above that distribution. Now we'll look to see if it gets accepted in this upper distribution. The upper distribution of Globex is big, right? It goes all the way up to 60. So it goes all the way up to, what was the highest? Like 70, I think, actually 70 something. Fuck, it was like 80. So yeah, it was like 77. So you have a big upper distribution here of Globex. Oh, thank you, TJ. Right, so if we start to get rotations and hold this level, look for that Globex point of control, 37.50. We saw a lot of action there, a lot of rotation, and then look to, you know, if it continues higher. But be aware, right? Just because we saw a reversal doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to keep going up without rotating back down, right? I mean, we still have, you know, the breadth is still, we opened up at 18, so we're still below that. NASDAQ breadth was like a 7, it's at a 2.5 now, so we're not seeing a ton of people jumping on board yet. Mostly just, mostly just that little trap down there at that 5 and 00. And we want to see acceptance in this upper distribution. If we don't get accepted in the upper distribution, watch the lower distribution. If it fails to find buyers again, this lower distribution, then watch this lower distribution. Right? But yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll definitely be jumping into the TPO chat since my TPO doesn't fucking work. I have to watch somebody else's screen. But yeah, make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. Great work today, guys, and I will catch you all tomorrow.